Hey guys, I'm coreross and welcome back to the Mythbusting series for Rainbow Six Siege. Today we are looking at Blood Orchid. In this episode we are focusing on Ying. Ying is the new 2-speed attacker for Rainbow Six Siege Blood Orchid, and she has a CANDELA device which throws out 6 flashbangs. So this is a very interesting device and gives a lot of myths to test. So enjoy! CANDELA flashball damage. So Fuse's cluster charge does do physical damage. The actual grenades themselves hit people and do physical damage, although not against Fuse, interestingly enough. Whereas with the CANDELA flashballs, they don't appear to hurt people at all, or gadgets. So I managed to actually send these ones through a breaching charge. Amazingly, I did manage to punch this right through a hole in the breaching charge to begin with, but I went back and did it again and put it right through the middle of the breaching charge, and yeah, it was fine. So they don't appear to do any physical damage, so that is busted. Ying versus JÄGER. So Ying has enough charges inside one CANDELA to completely neutralize all of JÄGER's active defense systems. Now this would have to be relatively smart placement or just luck, but because there are 6 flashes, it does mean that all the active defense systems can be used up because there's only 6 charges in the active defense systems. This means one CANDELA is enough to actually take out all of JÄGER's active defense systems, so that is confirmed. JÄGER versus Ying. So the other way around for JÄGER and Ying is that JÄGER can actually take out the CANDELA ball immediately without the flashes going off at all. So you have to place this quite carefully not to get them destroyed immediately. So that is confirmed. Echo versus CANDELA. So with Echo's drone, can you actually stop or change the direction of the CANDELA by using the sonic pulse? Well, no. It doesn't appear to be able to affect physically the CANDELA whatsoever. It will just continue on as normal. So that is busted. You can hide from the CANDELA. So is using line of sight, hiding behind objects and things like that going to protect you from the flash of the CANDELA? Well, yes and no. It's very iffy and it's very inconsistent. The way this device works, and we're going to go over detonation patterns later, it depends on placement of how good a flash you're going to get off into a room, and using line of sight to protect yourself is kind of plausible, but it's so inconsistent that who knows. Ying versus Castle. So can the CANDELA actually go through castle barricades? Well, the answer is yes, it can. And you can actually see the hole that's left over as well. It's about the same size as a glass bullet hole, so that is confirmed. The CANDELA can roll upstairs. So you can actually roll this device and it will indeed go upstairs. It does look a little bit iffy from the other point of view, so we'll have a look in a little second. But actually from downstairs, watching this go up, when it actually starts to detonate, it kind of starts to roll back down the stairs, which I guess actually is probably correct for physics, but does look a little bit weird. However, it is confirmed. Barbed wire versus Ying. So you can use barbed wire to slow the CANDELA down. Here's an example of no barbed wire. The CANDELA gets all the way to us on maximum detonation time, and you can see that it detonates right at Echo. Whereas if we put down some barbed wire and repeat the test, we can see that it significantly slows down the actual roll of the CANDELA, meaning that it'll actually detonate in a completely different place from where it did before. So certainly barbed wire can help just kind of slow Ying's ability down and maybe not get it into the room that you're in. So that is confirmed. Bandit versus Ying. So Bandit can electrify barbed wire and this will destroy the CANDELA. So it's a pretty effective way of taking out the CANDELA, and certainly the same thing will happen on reinforced walls as well. So that is confirmed. You can shoot the CANDELA. So this I have yet to see in an actual match on Rainbow Six Siege, but you certainly can shoot the CANDELA. It's going to be very hard to do and very situational, but it certainly is confirmed. Ying versus Mute. So the Candela is not remotely detonated, it is detonated by a timer. So this means that Mute's jammers are completely useless against the Candela. As you can see, it detonates no problem, even being next to 2 Mute jammers. So that is busted. Ying's goggles change color. So we know that the first person perspective, the goggles kind of activate, and if you're paying attention there, you'll see that they actually do go blue. So watch out when she actually pulls the gadget out, they go blue. When she puts it away, they do go back to their kind of black again. So it does actually happen in the third person perspective, which is actually really, really cool. Good attention to detail, and that is confirmed. Ying is immune to other flashes while the goggles are activated. So you'll notice if you pull out your Candela, your screen goes a little bit blue. That's because your goggles are actually activating. And does that then protect you from other people's flashes as well as your own? Well, let's just check and see. And no, it does not protect you from other flash sources, unfortunately. So that is busted. Candela detonation patterns. So this is going to completely change how you use the Candela in the game. You've probably realized by now, if you're playing Ying, that her Candela is very, very inconsistent. Like, you might throw it into a room, it detonates, and you run in immediately and the enemy shoot you. They weren't blinded whatsoever, and like, why was that? So let's talk about the 2 different types of detonation patterns this device actually has. One is like a fuse cluster charge. So this is when you're doing it through roof panels or walls or windows or doors, and it goes off like this. And you can see the pattern of the 5 flashes. Now I said 5 and not 6. So where's the 6 gone? Well, the 6th one actually detonates at the source of the Candela. So it very much is like a fuse cluster charge with 5 of these projectiles being thrown out in a line, just like a fuse cluster charge. And if you watch this zoomed in example and slowed down, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the 6th one kind of just pops out. It's also the 6th one that detonates first, followed by the other 5. They detonate afterwards. So this means you can actually orientate it just like a fuse cluster charge to get different coverage in different types of rooms. So for instance, you can have it go right down an entire corridor. So it can be very, very powerful, but of course it's non-lethal, which is very good on hostage. And this means you can use this a bit more tactically when you're using it with teammates to specifically flash different areas of rooms that they're about to breach into. Now let's talk about the second detonation pattern. This is the one you get when you roll the device or you throw it. So this is completely different. However, it does have some similarities. So let's take a look and actually plot out the pattern. So the devices, as you see, detonate in 5 points around the device, and then the final one detonates on the device. So it effectively gives us a 5-point star, which means we don't actually want to detonate a Candela in the corner of a room. If you throw it into a room and it goes to the corner, there's a good chance 4 of those flashbangs will actually detonate in the corner and not spread out over the entire room. So the best way to actually flash an entire room is to detonate the Candela in the center of the room. This will give you the most coverage and the most likelihood that you'll actually flash everyone. So you definitely have to get this one pretty much in the middle of the room, or it can become pretty much useless and inconsistent. But using it correctly will actually get the room flashed entirely, which can be very powerful. There's also a potential Easter egg in this as well, because the 5-star pattern also matches up perfectly to the 5 petals of the orchid in the Hong Kong flag. But anyway, I hope that explanation of how the Candela works allows you to use the Candela more effectively and more consistently. A little detail I thought I would share was the 612 shotgun's cartridge. So this actually drops off when you reload it, and this is the same with all guns. When you reload, it leaves the magazines behind, but this cartridge just looks so unique that I thought it looked freaking cool. Now let's take a look at Ying's hitbox and see if there's anything interesting. So first of all, her armor, although she's a 2 armor 2 speed, she actually looks quite similar armor wise to Mira, even has some of the very similar armor types, although apparently Ying is faster and less armored. And you can see that certainly she's not a huge operator when it comes to armor types. When she first came out on the teaser, she did kind of look like she was going to be quite a big, well-armored operator, similar to maybe Rook. When we actually see her in game, she's not that big at all. She's quite slimmed down and a pretty small hitbox overall, and a pretty small profile too. Even Ying's goggles are not part of the hitbox, so very good detail from the developers there. Well guys, thank you very much for watching this episode of Busted in Rainbow Six Siege. I hope to see you again in the future. Make sure you're subscribed and I'll catch you next time.